What's up, folks? Today we're going to be checking trouble engine codes on a Series 5 naturally aspirated FC3S, which for those of you out there that don't know what that is, it's a Mazda RX-7 years 1989 to 1991, which is what we have here is a 1990 naturally aspirated model. And so let's get started. So for those of you who have never checked codes or don't know how to check codes, the first thing that you need to do is locate the engine diagnostics connector under your hood here. And if you're wondering why I have the battery charger connected, it's simply just to keep my battery from dying while I'm trying to do this video, because I will be having the ignition key turned on without the actual engine running. So maybe a good idea for you guys at home to do that too, but up to you guys. Okay, so back to the engine diagnostics connector. If you look under the hood, under your over by where your battery is, you will see two green connectors right here and right here. The one you're looking for is this single pin connector, which will not be connected to anything because it's only used for engine diagnostics. So if for whatever reason you find that this is actually connected to something, consider that extremely weird. So what I have to use to check those codes is just simply a pair of test leads that I have cut the connector ends out of. These normally would connect into a meter with a plug on this end, and what I did was I cut the plug off and I just simply wire nutted the two actual leads together, and I actually use this for work. So this will pretty much get the job done for what we're trying to accomplish here today. So simply take one of the leads. Try to do this one-handed while I get this video done here. Stick it into the single pin connector, and you take the second lead and you connect that to the negative battery post on your battery, like so. And now with this the way set up, like the way it is right now, when you turn on the ignition to your car, it will trigger the check engine light to flash the trouble codes that the ECU has collected, if there are any. So let's see what we got going on here on this one. This will be my first time checking the codes on this car. So got the key in the ignition, and let's see what we got going on here. So when we turn the ignition on, no starting the engine, what's going to happen is the engine light's going to come on and then turn off, which is what it would normally do anytime you just turn the ignition on only without actually starting the car. And then after that ignition light, or after that check engine light turns off, it will then flash what the codes are. Now on these cars, the Series 5 naturally aspirated cars, this is how the pattern goes. So you have a series of either long flashes, short flashes, or a combination of both. So, and then however many codes it has, it will display all the codes and then cycle back to the beginning, and then start the code sequences all over again repeatedly until either you turn the key off or till you kill the battery on the car. So back to what these codes are. A long flash will be a 10-digit number, and a short flash will be a single-digit number. So when we turn the ignition on this car on, if you get a long flash followed by nothing, that's code 10. If you get a long flash followed by a series of short flashes, for instance, let's say a long flash and 3 short flashes, that would be code 13. If you get a series of just 2 long flashes, that would be code 20. If you get 2 long flashes plus 4 short ones, that would be code 24. And it'll go in sequence by tens from the lowest number code all the way to the highest number code, depending on how many codes are stored in the actual ECU itself, which the ECU stores codes forever unless you disconnect the battery for 30 seconds or longer and then reconnect it, in which case all the codes are reset. But as soon as you turn the car back on, the failures will occur again, obviously, and it will again start storing all the codes. So that's pretty much what we're dealing with here. So let's go ahead and see what my car is flashing here for codes. So ignition on without starting the engine. There goes the check engine light, which should turn off. And then codes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 9 short flashes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so the sequence is already repeating itself. So all I have for codes on this ECU is code 9. And if you notice, my add coolant warning light is on. So those may or may not be correlated, but we'll find out right now. But yeah, so these are what short flashes look like on the S5 NA ECU. So these are short flashes. If it would have had code like, let's say 19, it would have had one long flash, a pause, and then these short flashes that are occurring right now. If it would have had code 29, it would have had one long flash, pause, one long flash, pause, and then these short flashes. And then from there, if it would have had code 39, it would have been a series of 3 long flashes, and then this series of 9 short flashes, and then all the way up until it gives you all the codes. And it'll start from the lowest number code to the highest number code. So once you actually know what these codes are, you can go to your factory service manual, look up the code number. It tells you what the error code is, and then from there you begin your troubleshooting process, which we won't get into over here just because following the factory service manual is, you know, it's pretty much self-explanatory at that point. But a lot of people tend to have trouble or don't realize that you can actually pull the ECU error codes off of these cars. Sorry to say, if you have a Series 4 or Series 3 RX-7, which is the 84, 85 GSL SEs, or the 86 to 88 RX-7s, those methods for pulling trouble codes are completely different than what we're doing right here. So sorry to say, guys, if you know, this will not work for you if that's what you guys have. This is strictly for the S5 naturally aspirated ECUs. It may be a common process to other models. I don't know, you'd have to search that on your own. But this is what we got going on here. So code 9. In the next video, we'll see what that correlates to. I got to look that up in my code book, and we'll go from there. All right, thanks a lot, guys.